Meet Brian. He's trying to build some lean muscle. He's currently 205 and he's trying to get to 220. He's got some determination and consistency in the gym, but there's only one problem. He's got no plan, so he's not seeing any results. He doesn't know the exact weight he should be using. Yeah, I feel like I could do 225 today. I don't know, bro. Have you ever done that weight before? Nah, I just feel like I could do it today. I just got that feeling. He has no clear goals and doesn't know that he should be going a little slower rather than faster and racing through the sets. Well, as a personal trainer, I see it all the time that people come to the gym over and over again, work out, and they see little to no results. To help you avoid this frustration, today I'm going to share with you the top 5 biggest things that I've changed that allow me to go from 170 pounds at 6'1" to 220 at 6'5". That's right, I'm going to be telling you how to grow some height too. Just kidding. But I will be showing you how I went from 170 to 220 in just under a year and a half. Was it all muscle? Absolutely not. But most of it was. There's a lot of factors that goes into putting on muscle besides going to the gym and lifting weights. But these are the top 5 biggest things that made the difference in my journey. Make sure to watch the entire video because the last one just might surprise you. Starting off with number 1 is not using my 1 rep max to calculate for the weights I should be using in the gym. Well, you see, back in the day, when me and my friends used to go to the gym, we'd walk in, do a warm-up set, chest press of course, and pretty much just put on any weight that we felt comfortable with. We felt kind of strong that day, a little bit more weight. Weaker, a little less weight. It was pretty much just a guesstimation game. In order to find your 1 rep max, all you have to do is take the heaviest weight that you can bench, squat, or deadlift for 6 reps and plug it into this equation here. Simple as that. And voila, you got your 1 rep max. Wait, what'd you say? That was too complicated? Yeah, I'd say the same thing too. I guess you can plug that same number into this website here that I found afterwards, and you'll find your 1 rep max also. Now that you found your 1 rep max for the exercise, you want to take 60 to 80% of that number and now use that as a working set. That's simple. For example, I'm pretty sure I can bang out 225 for 10 reps. According to the website, it gives me the percentages and it gives me an estimation that my max bench is around 300 pounds. Now, with that number of 299 pounds, I'm going to take 60 to 80% of that, and that number becomes 209 pounds. Now, that number that you get, you don't have to follow it to the T. You don't have 2.5 pounds laying around. That's all right, as long as you're using a weight that's somewhere around that number that was given. Doing so will make sure that you're following progressive overload, meaning using heavier and heavier weight over time to progressively push your muscles so you don't become stagnant. This approach can also be done for strength training also. You just take that original number that you calculated and you take 80 to 90% of that number. Which brings me to my next point, not using rest pause sets. Rest pause sets are pretty much performing a set to failure, pausing for about 10 to 15 seconds and trying to get as many reps in again till failure. I was doing this in the beginning of my workout journey and I didn't really know that it had an official name, but it was something that me and my workout partner just started doing just to try to get the most out of every set. The reason why rest pause sets are so effective is pretty simple. You're pretty much pushing your body to the limits, taking a break, a very short break, and pushing it again. So you're pretty much making the workout more intense, which is going to lead to more gains in the long term. I will say though, since you are going to be fatigued a lot doing this method, I would definitely recommend a workout partner. You don't want the weight to be coming down on you, especially if you're a beginner or an intermediate. Next up is tip number 3. Stop focusing so much on isolation exercises. No, that doesn't mean isolated exercising. That's different. Hello? No, isolation exercises means that the exercise focuses on a small muscle group, such as bicep curls, tricep extensions, quad extensions, calf raises, and shoulder raises, to name a few. On the other side of the spectrum, there's compound exercises, such as back squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, bench press. I don't know if I said that. This advice is especially important for lifters that are now beginning or have been seeing some results, but are still part of that beginning stage. I get it though. Isolation exercises such as bicep curls or tricep extensions are fun to do. You get to see more aesthetic improvements from it. But for the long term, compound exercises are going to boost testosterone, are going to further your gains in the long term. As someone that's new to the gym, don't fall into the trap of, damn, even through the sweater, I can see my arms got bigger. Now imagine if I just trained it more often. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be an arm day. That pump from yesterday feels so good. Let's keep it going, baby. I'll throw in some back in there too. It's Friday. My arm's feeling really good. I think I got to hit some legs since I haven't done that in like 2 weeks. But It's Friday, so it's got to be an arm day. If putting on mass is your primary objective, stick to compound exercises. Your future self will thank you. Really quick, you guys, if you liked the video, please bench press that like button. This will keep me more motivated to keep growing the channel. And while you're down there, subscribe. This lets me know that I'm not just talking to myself in here. Anyway, back to the video. Now that we're on the topic of heavy compound lifts, let's talk about how you're actually moving it. No, we're not talking about form. That's a given and can actually be made for another video. We're talking about secret tips. I'm talking more specifically about how fast you're moving the weight. Honestly, this is a topic that's not really covered too often unless you're talking to a personal trainer yourself. Of the top 5, this is probably the most important one that will make the difference between you staying the same versus seeing actual physical size. As you can see here, guy number 1 is just counting numbers. He's racing to 12. He's not using the most efficient way to build muscle and is in fact increasing his chances for injuries. You see, studies have shown that according to the National Library of Medicine, they find that performing an exercise with 30% of your 1 rep max with 60 seconds up and down produced more muscle growth than the same movement done rapidly. The article then went on to use some dirty and complex language that hurt my brain and would probably bore the out of you, so we're gonna skip that part. The key thing to remember here is exaggerating the slow movement down, also called the eccentric or stretching the muscle, is better at breaking down muscle fibers to build it back stronger the next time, aka getting bigger and getting huge. The key thing to remember here is that eccentric phase of each exercise is the most important part. Stretching the muscle breaks down more muscle fibers to get it back stronger and bigger the next time. It's also important to slow your reps down because you want to get some good quality time under tension. Every set should be close to 30 seconds to maximize the stresses that's on your muscles. If you use the right weights with good range of motion and a good movement pattern, you're well on your way to looking like Mr. and Mrs. Olympias. Well, sort of. Besides the drugs. You're gonna need a lot of drugs to look like them, but yeah. In this study, they used a 6-second down, 6-second up tempo. Using 6 seconds would look something like this.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And to me, that looks like I'm working out in slow motion. So a lot of personal training institutes or accreditations suggest using a 3-1-2 tempo, which means 3 seconds down, a 1-second hold at the bottom where the eccentric stretch is taking place, and then 2 seconds up in a controlled manner. This really ensures that you have proper tension, you're using good form, and you're stressing the muscles correctly. So instead of blasting through the set, take your time, take it easy. Every set should be at least 30 seconds or around 30 seconds. By doing so, I actually made great mind-muscle connection too. That means I'm actually thinking about the muscle being used instead of just simply thinking about anything else. Is the game on today? Who's playing on Sunday? Oh man, I gotta do chores after this. What am I gonna eat later today? If you're doing bicep curls, think about that stretch at the bottom, coming up, nice contraction at the top. If you're doing bench press, a good stretch at the bottom, and squeezing using your chest to push the weight back up. Same thing with squats or lunges or whatever it is. You're thinking about the muscle, and research has shown that you get a much better muscle stimuli from doing that. Start viewing your workouts like a science equation. If I do X, Y, and Z, I will get X result. If I don't, I'll go back to the drawing board and see what can be improved upon. That was part of my psychology that got me from looking like a skinny lollipop to a glistening Adonis. You do know you still have a lollipop head though, right? Now to tie it all up, we're gonna be talking about our last and final point. And that last point's gonna be tracking and planning every single workout that you do. And most importantly, having a plan or an end goal that you're trying to achieve in the gym. Yes, I know it's not a cool topic to talk about, and all the influencers on Instagram aren't talking about that a lot, but it's a surefire way to keep you motivated and keep you working steady towards an end goal. I don't remember the reason why I started tracking my workouts, but because of it, I was more motivated to push myself
Harder than last time.
By looking through your progress sheet or on your notes, you'll be able to continue to stay motivated on those days where you don't feel like going into the gym. On top of that, by tracking your workouts, you'll be able to see some key insights into whether you're regressing, or if you're getting stronger, or if it's time for you to take a deload week. I'm not trying to scare you though. Just because you're not writing down your workouts right now doesn't mean you're wasting your time, but it just simply means you're just not working out as efficiently as you can. Also, a number 5 is writing down a plan. And when I say plan, I mean have like an objective to reach by a certain date to accomplish something. So for example, I want to gain 10 pounds of muscle in 3 months. That's a plan. Write it down somewhere and say what you're going to do to get to that plan. Because think about it. Going into business without a plan? Wrong. Doing a presentation without a plan? Good luck, buddy. Wrong. So writing down in my notebook the goal that I want to achieve gave me the motivation to keep track of my workouts. So essentially, the two habits go hand in hand and build on top of each other. It's really a science, and when I started looking at it that way, everything changed for me. Well, there you guys have it. Those are my 5 tips that allowed me to gain over 20 pounds of muscle in a little over a year. I promise if you follow these 5 tips, you'll see some muscle growth. With that being said, you must be taking in an appropriate amount of protein, get good sleep, and a good workout program. Second YouTube video done, baby. If you like the content and you like the gems that I dropped, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I really like helping people that are trying to better themselves. So bench press that subscribe button. There's more content coming. Profit out.